Hey guys, today we are talking about the top 10 scariest mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is known for being one of the most mysterious places on Earth and is home to over 50 ships and 20 missing airplanes. I'm your host Makayla, so let's get into it. Now starting off with number 10, we have the USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops was one of the biggest Navy fuel ships. In March 1918, set sail from Brazil to Baltimore through the Bermuda area with around 309 crew aboard. The ship had sent their first and only message ever, with no distress of any kind. All of a sudden, the ship was gone, never to be heard or seen from again. They searched everywhere and found absolutely nothing. The captain of the ship never sent out any help signal, and no one aboard ever responded to any radio calls sent out by nearby boats. You'd think that with a ship that big and that many people aboard, that they would at least find something, but they found absolutely nothing. At number 9, we have Great Isaac Cay Lighthouse. This is actually said to be the only Bermuda Triangle incident to have happened on land. Great Isaac Cay is a small island in the Bahamas and is only accessible by boat. Despite it being 151 feet tall, it's so tiny you can't even see it on Google Earth. The main attraction of the island is the lighthouse, right in the middle of it, which was built in 1859. On August 4th, 1969, the lighthouse was found to be abandoned by its two keepers who were never located. There was Hurricane Anna that passed by Great Isaac Island on August 1st and 2nd. But by August 4th, it was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So who really knows what happened to the lighthouse keepers? But some do say that they disappeared due to the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Here at number 8, we have Piper PA-46 310P Malibu. The pilot of Piper PA-46 Malibu had a flight plan from the US to the Bahamas on April 10, 2007. And it was said that the thunderstorms had severe turbulence was forecasted that day. However, the pilot did not request any weather briefing. A weather briefing is what most pilots ask for when they are about to fly. It basically just shows them what the weather is supposed to be like in that area. There was no request from the pilot to air traffic control for alternate routes to avoid the weather. After many lightning strikes in that area, the plane began a very steep descent. It was very clear that they were flying into a level 6 thunderstorm. Communications were lost and they found no wreckage or people from the plane. Now at number 7, we have Douglas C-54 SKYMASTER. On January 26, 1950, the Douglas C-54 SKYMASTER vanished during their flight from Alaska to Montana. The aircraft had 8 crew and 36 passengers aboard. The plane made their first contact 2 hours into their 8-hour flight, with the pilot saying that the flight was going well and they had just passed over Yukon. After that, there was no further contact. An hour after the plane didn't arrive in Montana, after its scheduled time, they sent out a search with 85 planes and 7,000 people searching 350,000 square miles. Many attempts were made to find C-54. However, after sending out 3 planes and all of them reporting mixed radio signals, sighting of survivors, but when looking closer there was nothing, and all of them had either crashed or had something gone wrong and the crew got injured. They eventually stopped the search. Here at number 6 is Ellen Austin. In 1881, the Ellen Austin set sail from Liverpool headed to New York. The ship was transporting people that were immigrating to the US. The ship was at sea for several weeks before the captain decided they were going to take an unplanned detour through the Sargasso Sea, which is very well known for having incredibly crazy weather conditions, causing the ship to go into the Bermuda Triangle. The captain had then spotted another ship inside the Bermuda Triangle, but it was sailing very strangely. The ship seemed abandoned due to its erratic sailing patterns. He sent some of his crew members to investigate, and they found no one on board and with no sign of struggle or violence. So he said they should sail back together. A storm came along later and separated the ships. When the storm passed, the same thing happened. A mysterious ship appeared again, abandoned with no sign of damage. At number 5, we have the SS Vatarna. On November 8, 1888, the SS Vatarna vanished somewhere off the coast of Swarostra with around 740 aboard the ship. The ship was traveling from Mandi to Bombay. When the incident happened, no one really knows much because the ship disappeared without a trace. No wreckage or bodies were recovered. Here at number 4, we have the USS PORPOISE. The USS Porpoise was actually the second ship with this name. The ship spent a long time hunting down slave trading vessels in the 1850s, but was then given to the North Pacific exploring expedition. The ship set sail to explore the island of Ladrones, Marina, and Bonin. After setting sail, that would be the last time anyone ever saw the ship and the 69 crew that were aboard. No sign of debris or any kind of indication that the ship ever even existed at all. Most people usually go with the story of a typhoon, but I think we all know what really happened. Coming in at number 3, Flight 19. Flight 19 was a group of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers that took off from Fort Lauderdale on December 5th, 1945. They had done lots of bombing journeys and expected this one to go as boring as the rest of them have, but to their surprise, it did not. Pilot Charles C. Taylor thought that his compass wasn't working properly and thought that the plane was flying in the complete wrong direction. Some of his crew fought this decision because they didn't think that it was very smart. Taylor then agreed with them and turned the plane back around. However, for reasons unknown, Taylor turned the plane back the other way again. Their transmissions started to become faint, and they were going to run out of fuel before they found their way back. Taylor sent out a final message saying that when the plane dropped below 10 liters of fuel, that they were going to jump off for a greater chance of survival. Then transmission ended. The Navy assumed the plane had dropped into the ocean, so they prepared a search and rescue. 2 boats went out to look for them, and after 20 minutes of searching, one of those boats dropped off the radar. Out of all 13 crew, 5 pilots, and the plane itself, nothing was ever found. Here at number 2 is the disappearance of Caribbean Flight 912. On November 3rd, 1978, experienced pilot Irene Rivers was making a solo flight in order to position the plane in St. Thomas to pick up passengers. Not a cloud in the sky, and it was nice and warm out. The control tower radioed to the pilot a flight suggestion in order to avoid a small patch of rain. Rivers thought it was a good idea, so he made the change. He approached the airport in St. Thomas and the plane was cleared for landing. At the same time, another plane was leaving the airport, and when the control tower looked back, he could no longer see the plane's lights, and it was gone from the radar. They executed a search party, but despite their efforts, nothing was found with the plane being only 1 mile away from land. Now at number 1, we have Mitsubishi MU-2B40. This one is a little more recent than the rest, which is why I personally think it's the scariest. Flight MU-2B40 disappeared on May 15th, 2017. Jennifer Bowman, a CEO of the management company Skylight. She owned a small private plane and wanted to take it from Puerto Rico to South Florida with her 2 sons, with her boyfriend piloting the plane, as he was an experienced pilot. At 2:10 p.m. that day, the plane was only 37 miles east of the Bahamas. The Miami Air Traffic Control could no longer get in touch with the plane and couldn't track it on the radar. It's as if the plane just vanished into thin air. It was reported that there were absolutely no weather issues at all. Some would even say a perfect day. The next day, they began a search for the aircraft. After 30 long hours of searching, the US Coast Guard, who was flying the helicopter, located floating debris in the Atlantic Ocean. They found things like seats from the plane. However, in terms of finding anyone or any human remains, they found nothing. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments which one you found the most mysterious. This is Top 10 Scary Urban Legends. I'm your host, Makayla, and I'll see you next time.